I want to talk about the coolest thing I ever wanted and what happened after I got it. So I went to Interbike. I used to go to Interbike every year in Vegas. It's a bicycle trade show. And I found this company, Suunto, which I don't know if anybody has ever heard of them. I don't know how big they are nowadays, but I went there and they had the coolest watches in the world. They literally, I mean, Polar had some nice heart rate monitor watches, blah, 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 blah. Polar was a big brand. And you go to Polar, hey Polar, got some good stuff. And then you go to Suunto, and it's like, this stuff's a real deal. Forget the Polar. Polar was like in the Stone Age compared to Suunto. I mean, Suunto was really kicking it, and their T6 was so unbelievable. I don't remember what it cost, but I think it was about $600. And I definitely made enough money to justify such an expenditure, but I just never made the expenditure because I'm a cheapskate at heart. If you all watch these videos, you notice I dress like crap. I talk about the fact that I'm a cheapskate, and I spend on my children, not on myself. That's my life. That's who I am. But spending on myself is something I'm not very good at, and never have been, and really not interested in doing it. But I did fall in love with that T6. I made it clear I fell in love with it, and lo and behold, I got a T6, Suunto T6 as a gift. I was like, oh wow, this is the coolest watch ever. Oh my god! And instantly, I was like, I don't feel comfortable wearing it. It was kind of ridiculous. My whole life, I wore cheap Timex Casio watches. This Suunto was a little too much, and essentially, I never wore it ever. It's really ridiculous. And thankfully, my mom took it and she used it, and so somebody wore it. She didn't know what it was. She thought it was just a watch. It was not a watch. It was pretty impressive stuff what that thing did. She never knew. Anyway, a few years later, I was doing some diving, kind of in the underwater diving, like scuba diving, and I got an Aqualung watch as a gift, which was also pretty pricey. And it's funny because same thing happened. It was never used. It's really weird. So the one thing I want to encourage everybody before you go out and buy something for yourself, or make sure it's something that you want. Envision yourself. It's like, do I really want to wear this? Like right now, if I think of myself with a T6 watch, it's like, oh no, that's not for me. Coolest watch in the world. I mean, I know some people like Rolexes and all these fancy schmancy things. That's not cool for me. For me, it's Suunto is really, really cool, but it's just not my style, at the end of the day. And just envisioning, like, think of yourself, if you think you want a Rolex, say, hey, let me envision a Rolex on my hand. And if the vision, makes you want to feel like you're going to puke, do yourself a favor. Don't spend the time, money, and energy, effort, get the Rolex. Do something for somebody else that's going to make everybody happy, especially yourself. Like when you give, it's always better, it turns out. So but if you really want something, I'm not try to get it, but envision yourself getting it before you actually go out and spend the time, energy, and effort. It might save yourself a lot of trouble. Thank you.